The distress beacon pulsed through the void of space, a desperate cry from the Cytherian Empire. Their crystalline ships, once symbols of dominance across 12 star systems, now drifted as broken shards around the mining colony of Arcturus 7. The enemy had been relentless, a swarm of mechanical horrors known as the Krell Collective, consuming everything in their path. Commander Vrax, his Azure scales dulled with exhaustion, transmitted the final message to any allied forces within range. We require immediate military support. The Krell advance cannot be stopped. Send reinforcements. Send anyone. Lisa checked the navigation console aboard the UNSC Harbinger, her fingers dancing across holographic displays with practiced efficiency. Captain, we're picking up that distress call again. Cytherian frequency. They sound desperate. Captain Vin Diesel stood at the observation deck, his muscular frame silhouetted against the stars. His face, weathered by years of combat and deep space operations, remained impassive. The former street racer turned Earth's most decorated fleet commander had seen things that would break lesser men. But this was different. How many ships do they have left? Ven asked, his gravelly voice cutting through the bridge's ambient hum. According to their telemetry, maybe 15% of their original fleet, Lisa replied, her green eyes reflecting the glow of her screens. The Krell are overwhelming them with sheer numbers. Ven turned to face his crew. Behind him, Earth's first response fleet hung in formation, 200 warships built from humanity's collective rage and ingenuity, ships with names like Unbreakable, Reckoning, and Defiance, each one a testament to what humans called spite engineering. The Cytherians called us primitives when we first made contact, Lieutenant Hayes muttered from the weapons station. Said Earth was too dangerous to join the Galactic Council. They weren't wrong, Ven said with a slight smile. Set course for Arcturus 7. Maximum burn, and someone wake up the wolves. The wolves, Earth special operations units trained in zero-gravity combat, biological warfare, and what the rest of the galaxy considered war crimes but humans called Tuesday. Lisa's hands hesitated over the controls. Sir, the Cytherians have strict protocols about Deathworlders entering their space. We could trigger a diplomatic incident. They sent an SOS to everyone. Ven replied, they're about to learn why you should be careful what you wish for. The journey took 18 hours at faster-than-light speeds. When the human fleet emerged from their quantum jump, Commander Vrax's remaining forces had been pushed back to their final defensive line around the colony itself. Unknown vessels, identify yourselves. Vrax's transmission crackled with static and desperation. Lisa opened a channel. This is the United Nations Space Command, responding to your distress call. We're here to help. A pause. Then, you're humans, the Deathworlders from That's right, Ven said, taking over the Heard you had a pest problem. We specialize in extermination. On the Cytherian command ship, Vrax's crew exchanged nervous glances. The stories about humans had spread through the galaxy like wildfire, a species that evolved on a planet where everything tried to kill them. Beings who considered radiation, mild discomfort, and sore vacuum exposure as survivable for a few minutes. A race that looked at predators and decided to make them into pets, but they had no choice. The Krell are blocking all approach vectors, Vrax explained. Their numbers are, we see them, Lisa interrupted, her scanners painting the tactical display with thousands of red dots. The Krell Collective's ships swarmed like locusts, each one a nightmare of grinding metal and soulless AI. Vin studied the formation, his mind calculating angles and probabilities. Then he smiled a predator's smile. Hayes, arm the Kasaba House. Lisa, plot ramming trajectories for all drone ships. And someone tell the wolves it's time to hunt. What happened next would be analyzed in military academies across the galaxy for generations. The human fleet didn't engage in elegant energy weapon duels. They didn't maintain defensive formations or retreat when shields failed. Instead, they did something the Krell's code logic couldn't comprehend. They went insane. Kasaba howitzers shaped nuclear charges that turned atomic explosions into directional plasma lances carved through Krell formations like a hot knife through butter. Human fighters, too small and fast for Krell targeting systems, swarmed into the enemy ranks, pilots laughing as they played ancient Earth music called heavy metal. Lisa watched her screens in amazement as the UNSC Defiance deliberately rammed 3 Krell destroyers, its captain ejecting the crew in escape pods moments before impact. The ship's automated systems continued fighting, using the wreckage as weapons. They're beautiful, she whispered. Ven raised an eyebrow. The explosions, the audacity. The wolves deployed in their assault pods, teeny craft that should have been suicide vessels. But humans had designed them with one principle. If you're going to die anyway, take as many enemies with you as possible. The pods burrowed into Krell ships like parasites, and the Special Forces teams inside treated the mechanical corridors as their personal playground. Commander Vrax watched in horror and awe as the tide turned. The Krell, who had conquered 17 civilizations, were being systematically dismantled by a species that treated warfare like a particularly aggressive sport. Captain Diesel Vrax transmitted, his voice shaking. Your tactics are, they're madness. You're sacrificing ships without regard for those ships or drones. Ven interrupted calmly. No human casualties. Well, except for the wolves, but they volunteered. Volunteered for what? To board Krell ships and introduce them to the concept of hand-to-hand combat. Inside Krell Destroyer 447, Sergeant Maria Chen of the Wolves grinned as she maglocked to a bulkhead, her powered armor making her look like a demon in the red emergency lighting. The Krell drones, designed for ship-to-ship combat, hadn't anticipated enemies inside their vessels. "Come on, you toasters," she roared, firing her rail pistol into a cluster of mechanical soldiers. "My grandmother fights better than you." The battle lasted for hours. When it ended, the Krell Collective had lost 80% of its attack force. The survivors fled into deep space, their quantum communications broadcasting a single message that would echo through the galaxy: avoid Cell 3. The humans are not prey. They are apex predators playing at civilization. Commander Vrax's ship drifted alongside the Harbinger, his crew silent as they processed what they'd witnessed. Lisa opened a channel. "Commander, your colony is secure. Medical teams are en route to assist with casualties." "Captain Diesel," Vrax said slowly, "the Galactic Council was right to fear your species. You fight like demons." Vin's face appeared on the view screen, his expression unchanged. "We fight to win, Commander." "There's a difference. What happens now?" Lisa answered before Vin could. "Now, you go back to calling us primitives and voting to keep us out of your council. And we go back to the edge of civilized space, waiting for the next time someone sends an SOS they'll regret." Vin nodded. "But here's the thing about humans, Commander. We remember who our friends are, and we really remember who our enemies are." As the human fleet prepared to depart, Vrax realized the terrible truth. The galaxy hadn't sent for reinforcements. They'd summoned something far worse. They'd reminded humanity that the universe still needed monsters to fight monsters, and humans had been waiting for an invitation.